to Nigeria now, and a disturbing warning from the UN High Commission for Refugees. It says members of a Boko Haram militant faction are regrouping and rearming in the Sambisa Forest. The UNHCR has also expressed concern over a sharp rise in the number of children used as suicide bombers. Months ago, the Nigerian army claimed it had cleared the Sambisa Forest in northeastern Nigeria of militants. The possible regrouping of the insurgents will be a huge blow to the gains made. It's feared their return will lead to a rise in deadly attacks and worsen the humanitarian crisis. People are dying of hunger in the remote region due to years of insurgency by Boko Haram. Disturbing news there. Let's get you more on that story. I'm joined live from Lagos by CGTN's Deji Badmas. Deji, what more can you tell us about these reports that Boko Haram is returning to the Sambisa Forest?
Well, Penina, that, of course, as you know, has been coming from the UNHCR, but there's been no reaction at all from the military. Neither has there been one from the government. But some of the security experts I have spoken to here say it would be foolish for Boko Haram and it would be nearly impossible for Boko Haram to be regrouping around the Sambisa Forest area because the Air Force is still carrying out bombardment in that area, I mean in the forest. And of course, just about a week ago, the Air Force actually carried out a series of bombardments in the area, attacking what it calls remnants of Boko Haram. But then it's not also impossible that a faction of Boko Haram might be attempting to regroup because, for instance, in Borno State, the state government was supposed to, at the end of this month, resettle the internally displaced people now back to their communities. As you know, most of the communities or all of them have been liberated, but the state governor has now come out to say that a resettlement will be suspended because of the activities of Boko Haram around the Sambisa Forest area and because the military is still carrying out operations there. So the governor saying that that resettlement program will not go ahead at the end of this month. So that clearly suggests that the Sambisa Forest area might actually not be safe, and also lends credence to that report from the UNHCR that a faction of Boko Haram might be attempting to regroup and rearm around that area, Penina.
So, Deji, does this have anything to do with the Boko Haram field commanders who were released in exchange for the Chibok girls? We do know the militant group has several commanders back now.
Well, it's difficult to tell. I mean, very difficult to tell. Fact is that these commanders who were released, we've been told that there are actually 5 commanders. We don't know how high up they are in the hierarchy of Boko Haram. And of course, I'm very sure they belong to the faction of Abubakar Shekau and not the other faction. Well, Boko Haram has quite a number of commanders apart from these commanders. So it's difficult to link this attempt now at regrouping to the release of these commanders. I think the most important thing people should actually be asking is how they were able to rearm themselves, where they might be getting their supply of arms from. Because the military in the past had come out to say that it had cut off their supply. So if they have been able to, reestablish another route through which they get their resupplies, then that's a problem, and that's up to the intelligence agencies in this country to deal with. But at the moment, it's very difficult to link these attempts at regrouping now to the release of those commanders in exchange for the Chibok girls.
All right, Deji Badmas live for us in Lagos. Thank you, Deji.